discoveries. So fortunately, I remembered it. Yeah, so last time, let's maybe review a little bit. What did we do? What did we speak last time? And then I would be really curious to hear if any of you was doing some home practice, and if you did, anything you would like to share. And yeah, let's start this intention part. One thing that we talked and practiced a little bit last time was intention, the awareness where to put our intention, and what is our intention actually behind our choices, behind our words and actions. And anybody who would like to share your practice within the week, your realizations or discoveries, or maybe questions, disappointments.
Oh, go
I
ahead,
don't.
Ru.
Yes.
Please, no, please, you go.
Hi, Paul. I just wanted to say that I ended up having to have a difficult conversation with a friend. We had some misunderstandings in the past, and she brought to my attention that maybe some of my behavior was like she didn't understand my motives behind certain behaviors that I showcased to her, and unknowingly I had actually ended up hurting her. And so when we had this conversation, I made my intention very clear that I was unaware that my actions were hurting her and that actually my motivation was the complete opposite. And so I hopefully created enough of a safe space for her so that she was able to express how she really felt. And by the end of it, I was actually able to hear what she had to say, her observations about why she thought that I did some of these actions, and it allowed me to reflect on what she had to say. And so it was really productive because I set my intention that my intention was to be her friend and it was to listen.
Thank you so much for sharing it. Yeah, beautiful. Anybody else wants to share what you have experienced, realized, learned about intention or about something else within AC within past week?
Yeah, I would like to share my experience. Firstly, Hare Krishna, Dhanutanam to everyone. And, I had this practice. I hope you can hear me clearly. I'm using these earphones for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay. So I had this practice session with Oscar. We had a short meeting, and it was lovely to ground into like that coaching, unpacking of our needs, and just sharing this. I'm reading from the introduction of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yeah, Prabhupada shares like the dynamics of sharing of transcendental knowledge. So here Prabhupada writes a line like why Krishna decided to reveal the wisdom to Arjuna. So Prabhupada writes, quote, that is to say, he must be a devotee in a direct relationship with the Lord. Now, what really catches my attention is the word relationship. First, the relationship was being established, and Prabhupada writes it in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, even before you start reading Bhagavad Gita. So, the importance of relationship is so important and so crucial because that establishes the bond and any possibility of understanding of the hearts and the needs of each other. And last time Oscar was asking about belonging. So last year, around November or December, somewhere in that period, just wanting to share this with you. To maybe get good sharing to my side. So regarding belonging, and I immediately connected to this, I had made a painting and I call it She Who Holds Your Inner Child. This for me is belonging. When your inner child is being held in deep love and compassion and understanding of your deeper needs. And Prabhupada writes, because Arjuna was in a relationship, and Prabhupada repeatedly repeats that the relationship factor is so important. Unless you feel you belong, unless you feel you're being cared for, your needs are being valued and honored, it's so difficult to receive anything that you need to receive. So when your needs are being shut down, it can create a huge blockage in your receiving process. So we may, we may forcefully project certain Prabhupada references onto someone, but then we have to realize the other person also he feels that his needs are being held in love and acknowledged. So the dynamics of transcendental relationship are so important. And also this another verse in Bhagavad Gita that Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritam Ashrita. So Prabhupada, that the second line is Daivim Prakritam Ashrita. The great soul is one who is held by Ladhini Shakti, who is held in her love. So I connected to my painting, and I know I'm speaking too much, but because when I had this session with Oscar, that was 21st June, that was my birthday. And that, I mean, in our Vaishnava ways, that was my appearance day. I had this prompt in my dream that I received. How will you nurture yourself? So I noted down that prompt so that I don't forget my dream. I did journaling on that. And based on that journaling, I made another painting. So this is how I will nurture my dreams. So there are tears of love. And if you can see, this is what I call Prabhupada books. There's a book, then there are beads, chanting, then some music, kirtan, dancing, the feeling of home, and this one jasmine flower blossoming from the center. So this painting will really remind me to ground into my needs and to honor my needs in service of Krishna. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing, Osho Prabhu. I love your paintings. Yeah.
Osho, it's good to see that our conversation triggered some painting. It's good to see. It's good to see that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's also beautiful manifestation of our interdependence, right? Somehow or other, Krishna didn't create for each individuality or personal lonely island, but we are all together on this material world, on this planet. And a little later today, I will a little bit talk about two kinds of different cultures that actually we are feeding with our mindsets, our language, etc. So it was beautiful introduction to that too. Thank you for Osho Prabhu and Oscar. Did you want to say something more about your practice, Oscar Prabhu?
Yes, I was going to say about intentions actually.
Please.
So I thought about your question last week. I think that when I did something, my intention is to fulfill my desire. This is the main topic I felt. Maybe it sounds simple, but it came to my mind first time.
Yeah. Did you go more specific? Which kind of desire? In which case?
Yeah, I have thought about a simple example actually. yesterday I was on coffee outside, so I wanted to drink coffee. Excuse me. I wanted to drink coffee, and why I wanted to drink coffee? What was my intention? Because I like coffee taste, so I wanted to taste this, feel good. I don't know actually how I can proceed this way, but this is the true intention was from this coffee example. I think it was I wanted to fulfill my desire. I wanted to feel peacefully.
Yeah. So it was your intention to feel peacefully, and when you did this act, drinking coffee, did this meet your needs? How did you feel afterwards?
I felt very good.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, anybody else?
Hare Krishna. I would like to share something.
Please.
Last week, I reconnect with one of my friend, who is non-devotee and she's my colleagues as well. And couple of months ago, the first time when I trying to build connection with her is because I see that she posts a lot of spiritual topics on her social media. And I see that, oh, it's an opportunity to preach the Krishna consciousness to her. So I book a meeting, not a meeting, just a friend date with her. And we talked a lot, and I briefly introduced our basic philosophy to her, and she shows a huge interest on it. But after 1 or 2 months conversation, I feel like that she is exploring the really wide range of the philosophy around the world, all kinds of spiritual philosophy, not just include the Krishna consciousness, also include some Chinese traditional consciousness, not consciousness, Chinese traditional spiritual culture, that kind of things. So I can see that she's not that ready for walking into the bhakti path. Yeah. So I feel like a little bit depressed because I cannot push her into our association. So I stopped to connect with her for a while. And but after some time, I start to think about her and start to think that what is the intention behind me to contact with her? Is it she is my friend, or that she is my target to preach? Yes, and I think that well, I would like to be her friend, although maybe she will not work into the Krishna consciousness in recent years, but I still want to be her friend and take care of her. So I send a message to her and ask her what you're doing recently, and we talk a lot, just as usual, and we build a really intimate and close relationship as just as usual. And I feel that the intention behind the action and the context is that I hope to love her as a person to person, not just as a, how to say, a devotee to our target audience, to let her feel that, oh, there's a philosophy, you should listen to our philosophy, and you should believe what we're talking about. No, yeah, I just want to listen to her. Yeah, I just there's a problem. Yeah, I just want to listen to my friend and be with her and let her feel that I'm with you. And whatever you feel, whatever you are confused, if I can help you, I would like to help you. If one day you are willing to know our philosophy, I'm always waiting for you. Yes.
Wow.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much. Thank you so much. It's so amazing how everything comes today into the relationships, right? And
Yes.
in the retreat from where I just come, the last session that I was able to hear, ended Maharaj saying these words that how was it? Oh gosh, flew out of my head. Yeah, that people join our movement because of relationships,
Yes, yes.
and people leave our movement also
Mhm.
because of relationships.
Yes, exactly.
It's such a deep truth, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
And such beautiful reminder how essential are relationships.
Yeah.
Exactly as you all of you shared, including relationship with ourselves, right? Because if we don't feel belonging to ourselves, like Osho Prabhu mentioned and showed this beautiful picture, then we feel lonely no matter what. Beautiful, thank you. Anybody else would like to share? I feel already so enriched from your sharings. Ah,
Hare Krishna,
yes, please.
may I share?
Of course.
First of all, I would like to thank you all for sharing these wonderful insights and inspirations. It's wonderful to hear. And as for me, I was trying during this week to be more aware of my intentions, but actually I found that I was failing a lot. I would just forget about it, and then I would remember, oh, intentions. But there were some moments where I could remember, and I really tried to dig into my intentions, and it was really eye-opening for me. I saw that so many of my words and my actions stem from fears, from me wanting to prove that I'm smart or intelligent, me just trying to prove the other person wrong, and trying to somehow defend myself or offend someone. and, and it was very I was at the end of it all, I was just thinking, like, because the intention is practically everything in Krishna consciousness, and there is no Krishna consciousness without the proper intention. Anyabhilashita shunyam. And I was thinking, I cannot even do the simple everyday things with normal intention. Everything is based around fear and domination and whatnot. And how will I ever connect to Krishna? So yes, so I am trying to I'm trying to see how to go beyond these unhealthy intentions. Just I'm trying to find different ways, like how can I, what's beyond this, and how can I just nourish my needs without these fears and this destructive behavior behind it all. So yes. Hare
Wow.
Krishna.
Thank you for your honesty and really revealing your heart. It's wow, this is so rich, I feel, because one of the most important ingredients in community building, in my understanding, is trust. And trust can flourish only when we dare to be honest, first and foremost with ourselves. And even before we can be honest with ourselves, we need to dig deeper, as you did. We need to really examine our intentions, for example. And Srila Prabhupada also stressed the importance of honest introspection, which is so crucial in our development in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we are just deceiving ourselves. And from there, everything goes the wrong direction, maybe. And there is another moment, which we maybe talk later, that there is intention and there is also impact. As Sundari Mataji described, that when we are not aware of our, no, I think it was Govinda Rupini Mataji, yeah, with your friend you talked, when we are not aware our intention, or even if we are aware of our intention, the impact can still be different than we intended. So it was, yeah, Govinda Rupini Mataji, it was beautiful example of how, despite of our good intentions, even when we are aware of our good intentions, it may land differently in another person. So it's also important to check how it lands, and then things can go wrong. We are in material world, and then correct the course and fix the harm that has happened. And that again requires honesty and courage to acknowledgement. Yeah, oh, it went wrong. I didn't intend, but something went wrong. There are so many exciting moments in EC that could help us to deal with these kinds of nuances and situations. Thank you very much, Chaitanya Mataji, for sharing too. Yeah. Okay. I feel so enriched already that I feel that I could go and just digest what you all shared and harvest this one. It was very rich. Thank you. Thank you all so much. And that also inspired me to put some elements into our next session, which would be like follow up to these sharings. So thank you for guiding myself designing the sessions according to what you bring alive in your from your practices. Yeah, what is the time? Okay. I feel you are really advanced practitioners about intention. So I thought to do again this intention practice that we did last time, but maybe I keep it for later right now, because I see that you were so able to observe and dig into your intentions already. So let's go to a new topic. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to remind, that when we see, like Chaitanya Mataji was describing, that my intentions are not actually what I thought they are or what I believed they are, it's really, really helpful to be kind to ourselves, because it doesn't help if we start to judge ourselves or blame or curse or whatever. We need to learn to be warm, caring, and compassionate towards ourselves also, because we are all conditioned in this material world, within this material culture. Because in a big picture, there are no more cultures in this realm than two cultures. And they could be called material culture and spiritual culture. But I'm a little bit cautious of using this name spiritual, because there is so much in the world going on under name of spiritual, which actually doesn't have to do anything with with a true spirituality or something that is above the material modes and the material realm. So I like to call them godless culture and God-centered culture. Does that make sense for you? Yeah. So maybe we then go to this. Talk a little bit about this God-centered and godless culture. Yeah. Try to open my screen sharing. Where is my screen sharing? Oh, here. Share screen. I can fix this one. Yeah, and this is one of the fundamental. Yeah, maybe I first introduce in nonviolent communication or in empathic communication, we are trying to make differences between concepts that belong to these different cultures, to godless culture or to God-centered culture. And these differences are not made with intention to say one is good, one is bad, but rather with intention to help us clearly see what we want to choose, how we want to choose to live, how we want to choose to interact, how we want to be with us, with ourselves, with other people. I find that these differentiations, when they are seen like together, they really help to make clear choices, how I want to live, how I want to communicate, how I want to relate, etc. And in context of nonviolent communication, these are called, where is this place? These are called life alienating. Yeah, here it is. Or life-serving culture. Here it is. And I call this, or we call this, important key differentiations. And this key D here is abbreviation of this key differentiation. In nonviolent communication, there is the whole package of kind of guidelines for those who want to become certified as a trainers. And there, these key differentiations are like structured and numbered. And therefore, I took this same order or same numbers from there, so it would be easier to refer to those. So yeah, these are these two basic cultures in this world, which are life-serving or God-centered culture versus life alienating or godless culture. This could be also called like mind states and language, or they actually, a culture is consisting from different states of minds, different use of language, different kinds of education systems, different kinds of behavior that these mind states are creating, and different kind of organizations. And they are all like a circle. They're all feeding in each other, starting from the mindset, which kind of mindset we have, and that determines our behavior. Behavior creates organizations or systems like education systems, and the kind of education systems we build or we have been trained up, according to that, we are creating organizations. And then they are either serving life or alienating us from the life. And what does this life-serving means? Life-serving means that we are living in the presence, that we are able to connect in the present current moment with life in ourselves and in another living entities, human beings or other kind of life forms. And life-serving means being connected to life and rooted in universal human needs. As we mentioned last time, needs are divine energy. So rooted in this energy. And life alienated means being separated from life, being separated from our needs, being unaware of our needs, and therefore trying to, that doesn't mean that needs disappear if we don't know about them or if we are not connected to them. This divine energy, this energy of needs is still so strong, it's still there, and it's pushing us. But if we don't know, if we are not aware of the needs, then we often use it for exploiting other living entities, including Mother Earth. And often we become motivated by greed, envy, lust, etc. Just trying to fulfill this unknown, our own needs on expense of other living entities, on expense of other living entities. And in life alienating, or it's in some context called also domination culture, or we call it the godless culture, living beings are seen as objects. Not as, that means living beings are seen as a static, like a chair, that I will try to manipulate this being like a thing, like a chair, putting and pulling and pushing it here and there and everywhere according to my whims, without considering that there is another living being who also has needs, and without connecting neither to my own nor to this other living being's needs, and finding collaboratively ways how to take care of everyone's needs, or at least how to accept and honor everyone's needs, as Osho Prabhu also in the beginning mentioned so beautifully. And opposite is in a life-serving culture, or in a God-centered culture, where we see living entities as dynamic, because life, everything that is alive, that has spirit, is dynamic. As devotees, we know we have these symptoms of life, right? The living entities have symptoms of life. They are being born, they are growing, then producing byproducts, and then dwindling down, and then changing the bodies. So living entities are dynamic, and this dynamic is going on every moment. Every moment is life is changing, life is flowing through, and these changes are manifested in our bodies with the helps of body sensations, emotions, and needs that change moment by moment. And scientists have been measured that feelings are lasting just a few seconds. I don't remember anymore exactly how many seconds, but they just, they are just like an onboard radar in our body, which is giving signs whether our needs are met or not met. And needs, as we already have mentioned a few times, are at the root of the life. Any questions, comments so far? Any thoughts?
I would like to ask actually why it's connected with God in this. I understand the concepts, but what's the purpose on the relating with the God? This I don't understand this.
Anybody wants to answer? Chaitanya, what does you look like you would like to?
I can try.
Please.
So everything emanates from God, and God is the ultimate, the primeval being, and anything that is not, that is somehow, because everything is connected to him, and all life is connected to him. So if we take him out of the picture, everything loses its meaning, and it's like we cannot really see anything in its proper context without God, if we take him out of the picture. So, and if we put him in the center, then everything else can fall into place, because it's like Srila Prabhupada always speaks of an example. It's like watering the roots of a tree. We cannot water the stems of the tree and leaves of the tree, because the whole tree will wither down and die if this root is not watered. And if the root is watered, then the whole tree flourishes. So in that way, if we think of God first, then everything else can also fall into place. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Chaitanya Mataji. How are you doing, Oscar, with this answer?
It's subjective, I think. To be honest, I don't have a God. I don't believe. I'm not a believer, actually. So that's why I want to relate, because it's something subjective, I think. People believe and people doesn't believe. So for believers, it's very good. It sounds very good. But for non-believers, interesting. You can say.
Interesting. Yeah.
But the main concept, I understand.
Yeah.
Mm.
I want to bring one example. Like Chaitanya Mataji said, God is in the center. And I used to be very careful about even using the word God, because I have seen in my life so many people who claim to be religious, and I really wasn't inspired how they related to me and other people, how they live their lives. It wasn't inspiring for me. So I was thinking, something is thinking here. But I was in search, and I was also realizing that in my early 30s, I believe that there must be more in life than this everyday rat race. I wake up, I eat, I go to work, I bring kids to kindergarten, I come back, I do all these things, and day after day after day, I had strong feeling there must be something more in it. There must be something more in life. And I remember I was yearning so much for something deep and real. And first thing I was given was nonviolent communication to first purify myself. And I was then searching further. My children were grown up and left home, and I was living alone. And it felt so meaningless to live alone. I was and still am so much yearning for community of like-minded people. And I traveled and checked different communities. And once I happened to be invited into some community in Europe. It was beautiful community. They had very fertile land. One retired sailor had been bought a beautiful fertile piece of land. There were buildings already, beautiful buildings. There were amazing people were gathering there, beautiful, beautiful people. But what I experienced in this community, none of them was so-called believer or God-conscious person, but they were ever having their own different practices, beautiful practices, each of them. But what I realized when I was there maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I felt there like in the tumble dryer, that it was so tiring to be there. And I couldn't understand why, because like everything was in the place in material sense. But what was not in a place? There wasn't center that holds. They all had their own practices, but they all were pulling in the different directions, because there wasn't the one center that holds. And later I realized, when I met Krishna devotees and I started to visit the Hare Krishna communities, and I'm not saying that all Hare Krishna communities are ideal. We have lots of struggles, but there is one center that holds, and the energy is different. even with all the struggles, there is this center that holds. So for me, that is, yeah. How is that? Any comments? And please, Oscar Prabhu, if it becomes too much for you, please say us stop.
No, it's okay. No, please continue. Just I want to learn what's the relation.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. And feel free to call it as you like to call it. That's why I also keep these different names, like life alienating or domination culture, because at the end of the day, it's not about the words that we use. It's about the concept. It's about the content. Yeah. All right. So let's go from there now to, I will share again my screen. What to do with this knowing or knowledge that there are these basically two kinds of cultures. And yeah, one can easily call it material culture, spiritual culture, however you feel comfortable to call them. Where is, yeah. Let me see. Yeah. So let's look into communication that blocks compassion. Because in order to overcome or transfer something, we need to know what it is, what is blocking us, or what to transform or what to overcome. And Marshall Rosenberg, for example, who is the creator of the process of nonviolent communication from which Guru Krishna Maharaj adopted embodied communication, is asking that if we are naturally empathic, then what is it what disconnects us humans for our this empathic nature? And another question Marshall Rosenberg had, and what allows us humans to stay in connection with our empathic nature, even within great troubles and trials. And let's look then, start from domination language or the language. Like I mentioned also before, language shapes our behavior, and also behavior affects our language. So they are like mutually in interaction with each other. And we categorize this 4 Ds of disconnection or domination language into 4 categories. So what disconnects us from ourselves and from other living beings are these 4 Ds of disconnection. And I find it very useful to be aware of these and start to notice if and when we use them in order to create choice. Do we want to continue using them, or do we want to change them voluntarily with some kind of other ways to communicate? And the first of these 4 Ds of disconnection category is called diagnosis, which consists of, for example, moralistic judgments that somebody is good, somebody is bad, someone is stupid, someone is smart, etc. Analysis. You are so tired because blah, 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 blah. Criticism. You are not good in this, or you are bad in that, or whatever. And also comparison. Maybe that comes as a surprise for some of you, that comparing ourselves or others is actually static, and it diminishes living beings into objects, because living beings are dynamic. And if I make mistake in one occasion, it doesn't mean that I am that mistake, or that I do this mistake again and again and again, because we are changing, we are learning, we are dynamic, we are We are not like a chair, or table, or stone. This is one category, diagnosis. Another category is denial of responsibility. Or maybe there are questions about this first category or comments. Yeah, okay. Maybe I point out this moralistic judgments. I remember sometimes people ask, but how do we live if we don't judge things or people? And that's a justified question, because in order to make our choices, we have to judge things. But there are two kinds of judgments. One kind of judgments is this moralistic judgment, that from our point of view, from our perspective, we are judging this is good, this is bad, this is stupid, this is clever, or like that, right? But this is seeing things from our mental platform, from our mind's perspective. And mind's job is to accept and reject. And according to our earlier conditioning and programming, we like certain things and we dislike other things, or we like certain people and we dislike other people. But there is another category of judgments which are value judgments. And value judgment means judging according to the needs. Is it meeting needs or is it not meeting needs? And this is dynamic, because feelings and needs are also dynamic and changing. And this one helps us to like keep our finger on the pulse of life that is all the time changing. Any does that makes sense, this two different kinds of judgments? Or any
Can you give an example of this judgment difference, please?
Would anybody would like to bring examples about, let's take about these value judgments, for example. No, let's take moral judgments.
I can
Yes,
try to give an example.
please go in everything.
It just reminds me of like parents speaking to a child. Like, for example, if you like, I remember growing up one time I didn't do so well on an exam, and my mother and father had very different reactions. My father was like, or my mother said something really harsh that she didn't mean, but she said, "This is failure. You have failed." And my father said, "It seems like you've made a low grade because maybe you didn't study enough, maybe you didn't this, maybe you didn't that." So it felt like my mother was, it was more direct, it was success or failure. And she made her judgment based off of, if it was above a B, then you passed. If it was below a B, you failed. And for my father, he was thinking like, how can he improve my relationship with this subject? Like, what is lacking? So he thought in terms of that way, and so it made me think of that.
And how did you feel about for one reaction and another?
I was definitely more inclined to listen to my father, and it was actually more helpful. Because he wasn't happy with my grade, but he was judging the result of that test as like some sort of unfulfilled need. Maybe I needed a tutor. Maybe I needed more time or space to study. Maybe I needed like a new textbook or something.
So it was more connecting.
Yes.
Correct.
It actually opened up more responsibilities, whereas being told you're a failure shut down any network of possibility of improvement.
Thank you. Yeah, did that example help, Oscar? Prabhu?
Maybe one more example, if you could give.
Yeah.
I will be happy.
Yes. Anybody wants to make more example? Hemangi Coffee Mataji is writing in the chat. Simplistic example. I like vegetables on my pizza. I value good health, and that's one reason why I prefer veggies on my pizza. Yeah, is this value judgment or is this a moralistic judgment? What do you think, Oscar Prabhu?
I think this is valued. I don't know. It's because moralistic judgment is not good, you said. So it sounds like good thing. So I think it's the opposite.
And how would be within the same example, vegetables on the pizza? How would be moralistic judgment in this occasion? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
You ask to me?
Either you or anybody else who would like to try. It's really important to get clear this difference actually between value judgments. So thank you for asking.
Maybe it would be like something, oh, I hate cheese, or oh, people who put cheese on their pizza, they're such and such. It's just it's just putting things in different like boxes and somehow making them right or wrong in every situation.
Yeah,
it's either one or the other, and it can't be anything in between, and there's no change. It's just,
yeah, you're put in the box and that's where you are. Yeah, and it creates conflicts because who is then the one who decides what is wrong, what is right? Is vegetable more right on the pizza than, I don't know, like cheese or whatever? Anything else? It's all according to time, place, circumstances, right? But if we are talking in regards of this moralistic judgments, then we actually put ourselves probably unconsciously on the place of God, who decides who is wrong, who is right. But when circumstance changes, it could be totally different, right? So it's like static. These moralistic judgments tend to be static. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can I give an example and ask your opinion for sometimes I cannot judge and it affects my relation with my wife actually. So I live in Japan. I said in Japan the drinking culture is so huge. So they drink too much alcohol, more than another world. So my wife's mother is living with us also, and she's 85. She mostly drinks 4 times a week, not every day, but so two weeks ago I had an argument with my wife. We went to convenience store, and she said, my mother looked, she wants some alcohol, so I will buy alcohol to her. I said, come on, she's 85. It's not good. Don't buy her every day. So I made a judgment, but I thought it would be good for her health. So I said, come on, don't buy today. So it's not good for her to drink every day. She's 85. It's not good for health. And we had an argument after that. And she said exactly what you said. This is why you decide for other people. This is not your life. You cannot decide. But I thought it was some valuable judgment. So I gave my reason. And she's my family. Her mother is my mother. So she's also my mother. And there's a scientific fact. It's not good to drink every day in 85, right? So this is, we ask to anybody in the world, most people can say the same answer. But she said, no, it was a judgment. So I want to ask you actually, if my declaration was which kind of judgment, and how I could correct this on more the other one. If you don't mind, I will be happy if you could show me some path on this.
Chaitanya Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna. So one thing that comes to my mind is that the content was valuable, but maybe the way it was expressed was something that your wife didn't take well. And maybe if you find another way to express it, like you were really concerned about your mother-in-law's health, so maybe you could have expressed it in a different way, in a way that it would really seem to your wife that you are trying to value your mother-in-law's health, and it's a humble request to try to see how you two could help, but it has to be a request, not a demand.
Can you give the valuable version of it, if you don't mind?
I would suggest let's set up little role play here. Let's Oscar Prabhu, would you be willing to play your wife's role? And and Chaitanya Mataji, would you be willing to be Oscar Prabhu? So Oscar Prabhu, you would say what your wife said to you, or who starts, yeah?
Okay.
And just try to feel then this version. Chaitanya Mataji will say, how does that land in you? Or yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah, who would
For me, okay. For me, okay.
Yeah.
Should I first do the
first do the harsh version?
Yes. So, dear wife, I don't think it's okay that we're buying this alcohol because it's not good for your mother's health. You shouldn't buy it for her.
Yeah.
So I am my wife right now. I will answer my wife.
Yeah.
And no, why you decide? You cannot decide. This is not your life.
Yeah. Okay. And let's now take other version.
If I can manage, let's see.
Yeah, just use
I will try.
Yeah, please.
Dear wife, I am a bit concerned. I see your mother is 85, her health is fragile, and I know that it can be very dangerous for a person, especially in that age, to drink that much alcohol. Do you think we could do something to help? Can we do something?
Yeah, what would be the
Yes.
wise?
What would my wife say? I think yes. So yeah, thanks for the consideration. I don't know actually. Thanks, but it sounded more softly. So maybe this version to ask more to ask question, not and even not recommend. So just ask question would be maybe soft way.
Yeah.
How do you think? Something like this.
Yeah. So how did you feel, Oscar Prabhu, comparing this first approach and the second approach? How did you feel?
It was different. It was different.
So
But now we can do it. But when you're in a relation, so you are almost all of them. I looks some experience relation. So yeah, in a relation becomes routine after some years, right? So you even we lose partners. For example, this my Romanian friend asked me this. She asked me, dear wife, but we don't say for in my relation we don't use it. I don't say dear wife to my wife. It doesn't mean I don't respect her. This is because we talk every day and we lose this sometimes details. So
yeah,
when now I hear it's very, very good, but I think we don't use it. We lose it, this empathy in the daily routine. How do you think?
Yeah, there is where this our intention comes into play. Yeah, and it requires practice because most likely not so many of us humans have been brought up with that kind of, even with this kind of examples who are really clear about their intentions and really put focus there to be clear what is my intention and to choose actions and words according this. So it might be like learning totally new language right now, totally new also new way to connect with ourselves, new awareness about ourselves.
Okay, so correcting our speech is a good example. Can you say this?
Yeah, correcting speech, but also creating like more awareness about ourselves. We are many people are kind of like programmed by the culture, right? And especially as you mentioned also in relationships, close relationships, it's so easy to, like there is saying, familiarity breeds contempt, right? It's so easy to fall into kind of track to start other person to take for granted. But if we start to, and that's kind of like, I feel it's like on very unconscious level. But when we start to think that there are how billion peoples in the world nowadays, 7, 9, I don't remember anymore. And out of all these billions of people, this one person has chosen to share his or her life with me. Even if you remember that just this thing helps at least me in my relationship to be more attentive of what I'm saying, why I'm saying. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% succeeding. I'm making mistakes like anything. But at least if we try to keep that intention, then it gets more ingrained in our system and it becomes like new habit. It's like
can you repeat what was the question you were asking to yourself? I couldn't catch it.
I don't remember.
You said you remind something to yourself, then to adjust you.
Yeah, maybe it was that there are billions of people on this planet, and this one person has been chosen to share his life with me.
Yes. Interesting.
Just that small thing, seemingly small thing, may help to not to take granted that this person is day after day after day willing to be with me, willing to share their life with me in good and in bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounded in different aspect, different angle.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll think about it. Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, Koina Rupini Mataji, I see your hand is risen. Please.
Haribo, to just kind of go off of Prabhu's question, I was wondering, how can I take radical personal responsibility for taking someone for granted, either on some unconscious level, because we spoke about intention last week. And I was just reflecting back on this conversation that I had with this friend, And I said with my words, and I meant what I said. I was like, I don't want to take you for granted. I don't feel that I'm taking you for granted, but clearly you feel this way. So sometimes I struggle with taking radical personal responsibility for like some sort of compiled motivation, unconscious motivation. I take them for granted on some unconscious level, or I'm not aware of my motivation. But then like you said, intention versus impact, and the impact lens. And then it's hard for me to take that responsibility, either one, because I'm not aware, or because two, that's not my intention. So how can I humble myself enough to want to take that responsibility? Because I really struggle with that.
I'm hearing your question, and I want to answer it in more practical way, because I feel we have been exchanging information a lot. Actually, we had also practiced this little role play that helps me to feel more ease, because I also want us not only to talk about, but practice. But yeah, let me introduce it with a little more theory then. Just 1 minute. Yeah, how I see what is in my world taking this radical responsibility is to start to feeling my feelings and connect with my needs. I want to find that page where I can show this also for you. Okay, it's here. Yeah, because let's start from feelings. How in domination language is a language where we don't take this radical responsibility. And how does it feel, or how does it sound in domination language when we speak about our feelings? For example, somebody does something that we feel upset about it. What do we say? Or we feel angry about, or
You hurt my feelings.
you hurt my feelings. You made me angry. You upset me. Are we taking responsibility for our feelings?
No, it sounds like we're blaming.
Yeah,
some-
we are putting it on others, that others make me feel something. But the good news, and what happens when we put it on others in domination culture? We are giving up the power that we all have to enrich life for ourselves and for others. Because, how come? Because when we blame others, you made me angry, or you made me sad, or you hurt me. Can we change it? Can we change this other person? Can we change how this other person says or does things?
No.
Yeah. I have also tried in my life to change a lot to my close ones around me, first and foremost. And it may work on the short term, but it will backlash. Because one of the very, very important needs for every living being is need for autonomy. Need to decide my own way, my own choices, etc. Yeah. And how do we then would express our feeling if we become angry, upset? How could we express it in a way that we take responsibility for that feeling? Any ideas?
Maybe an iMessage. I feel this way.
Because
I need to call one of my peers on this one. I don't know.
yeah, here we come to this this key connection in embodied communication. That what is at the root of the feelings? What is the cause of our feelings? What creates our feelings? or what, maybe let's say this way, what our feelings are pointing to actually.
Unmet need.
Yeah, either unmet or met needs. Yeah. Therefore, I really like this metaphor that feelings are like onboard radar in our system. Radar that is all the time tuning into. I feel angry, it's a sign that there is some need that is not met in my system. I feel joyful, this is sign that there is some need met in my system. But I don't know if any of you have been taught in any context this connection between feelings and needs.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't, at least.
Yeah, and I cannot remember from until I was 30 something when I met nonviolent communication that anybody even asked me what I need. And I was rather discouraged not to feel, and especially not to feel so-called negative feelings. I was told that if you don't stop crying, then I give you something really to cry for.
Yes.
Or if I was laughing like anything, I was told, good girls don't laugh like that. So I was rather discouraged to know my feelings, to feel my feelings. And therefore I was disconnected from life inside me. And when I was in my early 20s, I realized I'm so disconnected from myself that I don't even know what I like, what I don't like. And I realized that when people ask me, for example, what kind of food you like or what kind of music you want to hear, I developed certain kind of head motion that everybody could interpret as they liked. And there were very few people who asked, what do you actually mean? So this, when we are projecting the reasons or the causes of our feelings outside from us, this disconnects us from our internal life, from this life energy in us, which in context of this method we call needs. In some other modality they may have different name for that. So taking responsibility means moving this little word because from outside to inside, instead of believing I feel angry because we put it inside. I feel angry because my need for being heard is not met, for example. And this is, for me, taking radical personal responsibility. Any thoughts, comments, doubts?
Really helpful. So it's feel my feelings and take back the power by taking responsibility for my feelings, because my feelings are the language of my inner life.
Yeah.
And then find the met or unmet need, and then express the need, and then try to fulfill it either within myself or within that relationship.
Yeah. Let me open. Thank you.
Thank
Let me
you. That's really helpful.
Yes, I totally have same. So let me scroll down. Let me see if I have this. Yeah. We started from these value judgments and moralistic judgments, right? Value judgments are beliefs about what would meet our needs. And all of us, we make value judgments in order to assess what are in accordance with our needs and what not. For example, we may value loving relationship, honesty, freedom, peace, etc. And as we already mentioned, moral judgments are static analysis of people, and they are categorized as these 4 Ds of disconnection, which connects us from others as well as from life within ourselves. Yeah. And we are dangerous when we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel. So when we don't take this radical personal responsibility for our needs and feelings, we actually become dangerous. In which way? because we are treating other living beings, including Mother Earth, like objects, just pushing and tossing around according to our own whims, and not considering and aware of all interconnectedness and needs of neither our own in long term nor other living entities. But I want to find an exercise now. So we could, okay, here it is. Yeah, here comes also this another key differentiation, stimulus versus cause, that I described with different words. That what other people do is never the cause of our feelings. It's only like this trigger or stimul that is stirring up something in us, in our system. I like this metaphor of oil lamp on the car's dashboard. So when the oil lamp starts blinking, it's like our feeling in the body. It gives a sign that car has some needs. And what happens if we just ignore it or put some sticker on it? What will happen in long term with a car?
Explosion, I think.
Yes, something really, something that we really don't want to happen. Yes, so same with our feelings. If we ignore them, if we are not able to feel them, recognize them, and connect them with our needs, it starts create not only mental ailments or psychological or emotional disturbances, but also physical ailments, physical diseases. Nowadays, scientists have figured out are connected to this more subtle levels like feelings and needs. And cause is inside ourselves. Our feelings are caused by our needs, met or unmet. And which is very important point also is there is a gap between this trigger and the cause, between the stimulus and cause. There is a gap. And in the beginning, this gap might be so small that we are not able to notice it. But our power lies, how do we use this gap? Do we use to react according to our habitual patterns, or do we use it for taking a moment and connecting to our feelings and needs, and then making a choice? How do we respond for the situation? And as I mentioned about this because, removing the because from without, I feel because you, removing it within, that means taking responsibility for my feelings and further my needs. Moving it within, I feel because I. And let's take a little practice in a breakout rooms. Any questions or more clarifications needed before we do that? You can just speak up if you need, because I don't see all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
So it becomes very integral to this practice that we honestly understand what our values are. So how do we understand that?
How
Because
do I? Yeah.
How do I clearly understand what I value? Because sometimes, our values are coming from so many sources. They might not even stem from our real need or our real understanding of ourselves. So how do we recognize and identify them?
I would say 3 words: practice, practice, practice. That's the only way that I know.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will give you some practice for coming week as well. I think there is another aspect also, association. Yeah, because it seems to me at least in an environment where I live, it's so rare that people are taking this radical personal responsibility. And it's so easy to slip into old patterns if we don't have a practice body, if we don't have association, if we don't have support with people who have similar goals and wanting to practice and wanting to move the same direction. This support is so, so, so important.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other?
Thank
Welcome. So then I will try to copy this to chat. It will be exercise called expressing how we are and what we would like. And I will give a little explanation. First step is think of someone who does something that makes life less than wonderful for you. And write or remember what this person does. If you have your notebook, it could be good to write it down. And not a long story, just a sentence or two, like the essence. Yeah. And that's good. Could be good to do before even you go to your breakout rooms. It will anyway take me a little time to create the rooms, so that's like individual part. Think of someone. And point P would be, imagine you are talking directly to this person and express how you feel when this person acts in a way you described before. Like when you do this, I feel. And try to name your feelings as much as you could discover. And yeah, and then we come back and then we see how these two steps go. And then we take the third step. Any questions about that part? And I will start finding out again how to make these breakout rooms. We are Govinda Robini Mataji, are you able to take part of breakout room?
Yes, Mataji. I'm not sure what happened this time, but I'm on my computer, so hopefully it won't freeze out on me.
Yeah, thank you. So where is breakout rooms? Here. And we will have then three breakout rooms with 2 people. Correct? No. How many we are? Yeah, if I join, then we will be like that. It shows me that Hemangi Gopi is with us. I cannot see. Is that?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah, it's just black in my screen. That's why I didn't see.
It's blank in my screen also. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. But thank you. So you are also able to take part, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, one group is done. Another group is ready. And third group is ready. So, and I will put like 3 minutes per person. Let's try like that. And there will be 1 minute like warning coming out from the rooms. All right. And I think you see the general chat in the rooms. If not, then you ask, please. Open all rooms. And I will put it to the chat right now. The task. Okay, see you in 7 minutes.
about identifying the situation and our own feelings, and we didn't really have to like try to do so many different things right now, but we just started with this little step that got us in the right direction.
Lovely, thank you. Anybody else like to share how it was? Any questions, doubts?
I can share.
Yes, please.
I was thinking, like, I was thinking like certain things that have like happened in my life, I'm sure like for all of us, that I was like, this happened to me. So then suddenly I had to think about it like, okay, this is just a trigger. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a trigger. Now the reasons within myself. And then suddenly like all that pain and sorrow that I felt, it was because of me. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can shoulder knowing that I'm responsible for my own pain and suffering. And so it was a very hard pill to swallow. And it's very humbling because I was like, I don't like this. I don't like feeling like I'm responsible for all this pain and sorrow in my life. So I don't know if anybody else experienced that, but it was hard for me because I was like, dang, I'm really out here doing it to myself, huh?
Wow, that's something to realize. And thank you for your honesty and sharing it. Wow, yeah. It's not easy to become, or how to say it. It's in a way very easy to put it all out there, right? You are because, or I'm angry because you, and I'm this because you, and because this, and because that, and but that is actually a very lonely life because we are so disconnected and just creating troubles within and without. Yeah, thank you. Anybody else like to share before we take a third step? Okay. I think I put a little piece of theory between here also before we go. How do I do it? Yeah, maybe somebody would like to share your example. And I'm specifically would like to hear the feelings part.
I can share.
Thank
So,
you.
this is a very live example for me in my relation. It's private, but I would like to share. So I trust you all, guys. So
Thank you.
so my wife, it's not blaming. I want to tell you two situations. So she doesn't want to say about her money, how much she has money before her marriage. So this always put me in why she doesn't say to me, we chose to be left together. So I say like this: when you don't share with me your past tangible things, I feel untrusted.
Mhm.
So
Thank
this was
you.
my example.
Thank you. Beautiful. That is exactly example that illustrates this theory that I want to share. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So let me share the screen again. Yeah, there is another key differentiation almost on each step we do in the beginning to become aware of. And this is key differentiation. Feelings, feelings versus thoughts, or feelings mixed with thoughts. And that could be also called like false feelings or false feelings. Feelings, let me say a few words about feelings. feelings actually are born in our body. First, these are the body sensations that manifest. And not all of us nowadays are that much connected to our bodies that we are able to notice these sensations. But then this sensation goes to the brain, and then comes the cognitive part, which puts the feelings word on it. And sometimes these feelings, pure feelings, let's call them, get mixed with thoughts. And some other time, it's even a little more complicated combination. It becomes like thought feeling, where there is in one word is mixed both thought and feeling. Let me make an example. Oscar Prabhu, may I use your example? Yeah, I heard you saying you feel not trusted. Yeah. Let's analyze it. Is that feeling or thought feeling?
I think it's feeling.
So where in body do you feel that?
Excuse me?
Where in your body do you feel that? If you say
All of my body, actually, I feel very untrusted. She's my wife. How she cannot say this to me? I talked this, I became stressed. So this I feel all of my body is this. So
yeah.
Excuse me. I lived it.
Yeah.
I totally lived it now.
Yeah, I heard what you say, that she's my wife and why she doesn't trust me, and you feel stressed already now when you speak about it. Yeah. And you feel stress all over the body. So it's really huge stress for you. Correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So stress, you feel it in a body. It's a feeling, according to my understanding. And this, I feel not trusted. In my understanding, this is your thought process. I feel it's actually thinking, it's the mind. I think my wife is not trusting me. I'm not trusted. Because it doesn't speak about me, it speaks about her, right? She doesn't trust me.
Yeah, this is her inner voice, maybe. I don't know actually, but this is how I feel.
Yeah.
This is feeling, right? Not thoughts.
Feeling
Is it feeling?
Feeling, as I understand right, feeling is a stress, right? You feel stressed even now when you think about it, when you remember about the situation. Is that correct? Yeah. It's really there is some very, very important need for you underneath this feeling of stress, which gives sign with help of this feeling of stress, and it's all over the body, so it's really big. Yeah. And the mind is the part which says, she's my wife, we have been already married and long time, or whatever time. Why she's
5 years. So
5 years, yeah. And she's not revealing this to me. Why she's not trusting me? So as I experience or see it, this is coming from the mind. It's like on the thought level. And then mind puts it like mixes it together, that I feel not trusted. Yeah. So these words that imply that somebody else is doing something to me, not trusting me, these are these feelings mixed with thoughts. Like when let me try to remember some other. I will later post you the lists of feelings, sensations, and also these mixed thought feelings, in order to get more maybe inspiration there. What else could be? I feel betrayed. Is it feeling or mixed feeling? Let's say, is it pure feeling or is it mixed with thoughts?
it's right. I think there's thought inside.
Yeah, because it's like kind of little sneaky way, right? apply that actually you betrayed me. I feel
There's
betrayed, right?
judgment inside, yes.
Exactly. There is this hidden, sneaky judgment inside. So these ones are feelings mixed with thoughts. And I want to stress that nothing wrong about this. This is also helpful because it helps us to dismantle this, to separate. Okay, when I feel this untrusted or betrayed, but I'm actually, how can I separate my thinking and my feeling? Right? My feeling is he or she has betrayed me, right? And then what is the feeling? How would I feel then? How might person feel who thinks that somebody has betrayed them? Just randomly throw some feeling words.
Hurt.
Anybody? Yeah, I feel hurt, right? Do you see difference? Feeling betrayed, which is having this sneaky that somebody else does it, or feeling hurt, which is about me, purely about me. I feel hurt. I'm in pain. Do you see the difference? Anyone who doesn't see the difference? Yeah, it's quite subtle, the difference, right? Yeah, but it's really an important difference to learn to this, because as soon as people, I would not say even here, as soon as people sense there is some pain, it blocks connection. People tend to invest their energy either defending themselves or attacking back. So it will be blocking the connection. When we take responsibility for our feelings, like I feel hurt, or maybe I feel disappointed when I see that my wife doesn't trust me, then we are taking responsibility for our feeling, and we can take back our power to choose, right? So we can go then to the next third step, to the needs, to which kind of needs this feeling may be pointing to. Does it make sense? Yeah. So, and here it comes also, watch out for expressions that distance us from the vulnerability of feeling our feelings. It is vulnerable to allow ourselves to feel our feelings, because, as I brought examples earlier, we haven't, or many of us most likely haven't encouraged to feel our feelings, to be open-hearted, vulnerable. And we haven't experienced maybe that vulnerability doesn't make us weak. Quite opposite. Vulnerability really helps us to connect with our inner strength. Yeah. And also reminders, we are responsible for our own feelings, and we are not responsible for other people's feelings. All right. And let's go to this third step. Now you made these 2 steps, what this person said or did, that triggered some feelings in you. You connected with the feelings. When you go now back to breakout rooms, you could double check if your feelings were feelings or are they mixed, and try to distinguish feelings and thoughts. And then go to the third step. Imagine you're talking directly to the person and express your reasons for feeling as you do. Saying, when you do, like you before, I feel, let's say, sad or hurt because I need, and try to connect with yourself. What is important for you in this situation? What matters for you? What stands out for you? And try to express it just with your own words as best you can. And maybe I give now 2 minutes for a person, and I try to, oh yeah, I wanted to copy it. This one, I copy, and breakout rooms, open our rooms. It will be same rooms. How do I get timing? Yeah, so it will be, yeah, like that. Open our rooms, but there is somebody has left. Okay, I will come to that room. Good luck. Welcome back, everybody. So we have 4 minutes left until our ending time. Any sharings anybody wants to share?
I think, Mataji, one thing that's coming up for me, I discussed with Oscar also, like this, I am sensing like when it comes to needs, what we have been addressing so far is my personal individual needs, but there will also be relationship needs. For example, if I like my prompt was when you do not respond to my messages and mails, then I feel unacknowledged, hurt, and angry. Now, it is natural to expect because love is a reciprocal relationship. And I do understand you cannot control the other person. At the same time, there is a natural, I don't want to use the word expectation because then we are being lectured not to have any expectations from others. But it's natural to have, uh, and I am very cautiously using this word again, it's natural to expect a reciprocation in a relationship. When it's about relationship dynamics, it's a little more complex than what we have been discussing so far. So I mean that's my personal thing. And yeah, I'm myself in the process of unpacking this whole thing. But yeah, it's good to initiate this self-inquiry and this contemplation. So any thoughts from you?
So could I guess your needs, that your need in this case was need to be acknowledged? And need for reciprocation, for example?
Need
Yeah.
for a connection, a communication.
Yeah. And about relationships, yes, we are in relationship. And still, when we are in the relationship, we still have each our own needs happening in different times. Like, for example, in that moment, you seem to having these needs for connection, reciprocation, being acknowledged. But that other person might have been in a totally different space and may have some other needs more pressing in their life at this moment than, for example, need to reciprocate. How does that sound? And there is this beauty and also challenge to, sometimes I like this metaphor that needs are like these balls, like the circus people are could keep in the air, many of them, right? Needs are like that too. And it's so true. It's not easy because needs doesn't come one at a time. They show up like pop, 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 pop in one person and also in another person. And then how to jongleur with them, that's the art to learn. And it's not simple, it's not easy, but it's beautiful. Makes sense?
Okay, I'm into it.
Okay, something to digest. And
Yeah.
otherwise, you're welcome to bring it up next time again.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, it's 2:00. I would love to spend the whole day with you, dear people. But I have other duties and needs as well waiting. And
What you said, I liked. It's not easy, but it's beautiful. I think this was very good. I liked so much.
Thank you. So next time we will continue from here. And I can't wait to see you next time already. And I will grade these practice sheets and try to send it out within tomorrow. And I would like to hear now, maybe let's practice needs now also. One need word, what needs of yours were met during this session? Or it could be also what need was not met.
My need to be understood. I felt very understood by my peers and today.
Thank you. Let's do it popcorn method. Who is ready? Pop up and say the need.
I need to be supported and be loved by others, by devotees, and I feel it.
Thank you. Yes, please, next. Who wants?
My need for connection and authenticity.
Thank you.
My need to express myself and understand more about communication. Both met.
Thank you. Anybody else wants?
My need to embrace my vulnerability.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think I'm the last one left. So my need actually I don't know. I cannot name it. I feel good. My need of feeling good.
Yeah. And my need for excitement, connection, meaning, and many more are also met today. So thank you all so much, and please accept my obeisances. Vanchakalpatarupasya kripa sindhubevachya patitanam pavanabhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. And hope to see you all next Sunday. And meanwhile, if you are inspired, you may speak to others also that there is such a beautiful method, empathic communication, so they may want to join us next time. Hare
Do we have any
Krishna.
See you next
homework
time.
this week,
Thank you.
Amanda?
Could you say it again?
Do we have any homework this week?
Yes, I will try to send it out tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Okay. Take care. See
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Haribol.
Bye-bye.